Well, people, we're back. Sometimes these old codgers have health problems, and we get caught up in that big old healthcare nightmare out there. Don't ever get sick. It's the only thing I can tell you, man. Don't get sick. Don't don't depend on these folks out here to take care of you. Man, ooh, it has been a mess. I'm telling you, Ted, I cannot describe it. It has been a damn mess. I, man, I, oh, man, I don't know what to say, man. It's just been a whole big mess out there. And it all started, I guess, in January of this year. It really actually started in January. Uh, I'm a diabetic, and I was diagnosed a diabetic about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, probably. And once you get something, you start. If most people they don't research it, they just go and just let the doctors tell them what's going on. If you don't stay active in making sure that your health is being taken care of, then they those people out there would do just anything and stuff for you. Because the first thing they look at is how old you are. You walk in there, man, and you got gray all over you, and you've been around for three scores and 10 or whatever they say it is. They and being a person of color, they don't care. They don't care, and it's a horrible shame and stuff, Ted, that's going on. But anyway, getting back to my January date, my doctors had got all my stuff, my sugar and everything level out. Everything was running along smooth. We were cruising at a high altitude, and I was feeling good. And some crazy stuff happened. My doctor had finally prescribed me to have Ozempic. And some of you people have saw these commercials on television about Ozempic and that people are using them and everything. But they got some crazy folks out there, and they decided that they were going to take the medication that diabetics take to control their sugar. They were going to lose. They found out that if you take this stuff, you can lose weight. And man, these people out there, they are hoarding this stuff. They're buying it up from any source that they can buy it up from, and they're hoarding it so they can lose weight. And there's a lot of folks out there that's got a lot of money, and they are buying this Ozempic up. So because of that, the shortage came, and it really hit in January. I couldn't find my Ozempic at no place. You can go to Walgreens, CVS, Publix, Kroger, all of them who have pharmacies and stuff, especially around my area, didn't have it. So I had to wean myself with Ozempic until I can figure out to get it. Finally, I got me a batch of it, use it up, and all during this time, my sugar was starting to go out of whack. Unbeknown to Mr. Bishop here, I don't like pricking my finger. My wife, she sticks her finger 3 times a day to check her sugar. I don't. I think it's inhumane to let someone stick a needle in their finger to get blood and read it and see what your blood sugar is. We're in the 21st century. We ought to get away from this stuff. This thing has been going on since the 50s, 1950s, even earlier than that. And nobody has found a way to get your blood sugar without pricking your finger. So Mr. Bishop says, I'm not going to do this. So I, I didn't know that my sugar was going up. I had no idea it was going up. And when I finally got through and I saw my doctor and I told her what was going on, I had me a new doctor, a young black lady named Dr. Basong, very nice lady. She said, well, Mr. Bishop, all of my patients cannot find Ozempic. So she prescribed me these little bitty little pills and said, this is the derivative of the shots that you take once a week in my stomach. So I said, okay, let's take the pills. So when my doctor turned in the medicine for me to take, because couldn't get my Ozempic, my insurance company fought me like crazy.
Oh my goodness.
They fought me for 2 days to get the stuff to keep me alive. And I pay a lot of money, people, for my insurance coverage. A lot of money. And so because of that, my sugar steady going up, unbeknown to Mr. Bishop, because he refuses to stick his finger. Well, when I finally got the medicine, my doctor already told me, said, Mr. Bishop, when you take this stuff, we don't know how your body is going to respond to it. So we're just going to give you half the doses that you need and everything so we can get your body accustomed to it. And then we can give you the full dose that you're supposed to have. My sugars, people, is going up. It's going up, and I had no idea what, because Mr. Bishop did not want to stick his finger. So last Friday, the crap hit the fan. I was in front of my screen doing some work, and I had a blank eyesight. And my eyes started going. I said, oh man, something going on. So I shut my computer screen off and I went downstairs. I grabbed my wife. I said, take my sugar. She stuck my finger. My blood sugar was 498.
Oh my goodness.
I rushed into the bathroom, cleaned myself up. My wife got cleaned up because I know what's going to happen. I can't call my doctor. It's a Friday after 3 o'clock when the office closed. And the first thing they're going to tell you if you call them, if it's an emergency, call 911. So instead of doing that, knowing what's going to happen, we went to the hospital, to the emergency room. Drove up into the emergency room, got in there, sat down, told the lady, said, hey, lady, my blood sugar is 498. And the lady immediately looked at me at the front desk, said, okay, Mr. Bishop, she sit down over here. She took out my little information. Found I was on the computer because I had been there before. And she sit me down and got my blood pressure and everything and checked my temperature and stuff in my finger. And we sat there. And I figured I was going to go in the back and they were going to take care of me. Wrong.
What?
They did not do that. I had to go and sit in the waiting room. Now, anybody who is a diabetic knows that if your blood sugar goes up, the higher it goes up, the more your body is being destroyed. Every organ in your body is under attack. Your pancreas, your liver, your kidneys, your heart, all those vital organs are under attack when that blood sugar goes up. So you have to immediately get that stuff down. If you don't, you are taking a chance on organ failure. Finally, I gets into the back to get a room. Ted, they got a chair in the room and they let me sit in the chair. They let's go back and they set me up and the nurse gets in there. The first thing I notice, the room is dirty. You go in a hospital, the place is supposed to be clean. The room is dirty, man. They got cobwebs all in the corner, all down on the side,
Oh my
everything.
goodness.
I said, oh my God. The ultimate thing happened, Ted. You ain't gonna believe this. There was blood still sitting in the chair.
Wow.
We had to tell the nurse. My wife saw it at first because I couldn't see it. Because she said, ma'am, there's blood in the chair. The lady said, oh, I didn't see that.
You
She
didn't see
had to
it.
clean the blood up. I should have known then that I was in trouble. Man, she took my blood sugar and she checked it, pricked my finger again and checked it. So, oh, Mr. Bishop, it's 396. So it gone down 100 points. I don't know how it went down 100 points, but it went down 100 points. So finally, the doctor comes in, little bitty lady, an Indian, and she brought her bodyguard in because they got a sign on the wall that says any violence will be dealt with.
What?
Yes, there was a sign on the wall, man. It says it was sitting there on the wall. Any violence will be dealt with by the hospital. We do not tolerate violence in the emergency room.
They thought you was gonna do violence?
I don't know, man. I have no idea
You-
what they planned, but the nurse the doctor brought a guy in. I said, who is he? She said, he is the person who takes down my notes. Now he had a pad in his hand, and my wife was looking at him while all her investigation going on. And he didn't take not one note.
Hmm.
He didn't take one note, not one. He just stood up there. I guess they saw a big black man and said, the doctor might need some help. So I said, she said, what's wrong, Mr. Bishop? I said, you saw what's wrong. My blood sugar's at 396. I need some insulin to get my blood sugar down. And the first thing she said, I can't do that.
Hmm.
But we're going to give you an IV to help to see can we get your blood sugar down. So me, I'm delusional because if your blood sugar's high, man, you ain't thinking straight. You're all screwed up. She gets the nurse, she sticks my arm in my arm, she finds a spot there, she pushes this thing up, the butterfly up into my vein, and then she immediately hooks me up with these big old pint or liter of this fluid. She sticks it in there, and I guarantee you, man, in 30 minutes, that bag was gone.
Hmm.
I should have known something was wrong because you ain't supposed to get that fluid that fast. She went and checked my blood sugar. It then went down from 396 down to 346. I said, oh. So the doctor comes back in. Good news, Mr. Bishop, your blood sugar's going down. What's wrong with that, people? I didn't think about this until after I had left out of the emergency room because I was really upset because I didn't get my blood sugar, my insulin to bring my blood sugar down. She says, I can't guarantee you that we're going to get it below 200, which would be safe for me, but we're going to give you a half a bag more of this fluid, sodium, whatever, water. And they hooked another half a bag up. It was gone, and that's about a little less than 30 minutes. It was gone. She checked my blood sugar again. Oh, Mr. Bishop is at 326. I said, wow. Doctor comes back in again. Oh, Mr. Bishop, we've been checking all your vitals and everything with your blood test, and we're going to take another blood test from you, and we're going to see because your potassium level is a little bit too high. Now, the potassium has nothing to do with your blood sugar, but it affects another part of your body, so we're going to check that potassium. Half hour later, she comes back. Well, evidently your potassium level is okay, Mr. Bishop, and we're going to let you go home because we can't put you in the hospital.
What?
I said, why? Well, you need to go see your doctor on Monday. This is Friday night now, trust me. Now, you need to go see your doctor on Monday. So she looks through the dealer records and everything, and she pulls up my primary physician and got his name down there. Go see your primary physician. Trust me now, I have a special doctor that takes care of sugar, an endocrinologist, they call them. They are specialists in taking care of people who have high sugar, diabetes. I looks at the thing and I tell every discharge nurse, this ain't my endocrinologist here. This is my primary physician. Well, we probably made a mistake. And he opened the paper up and tried to find my endocrinologist's name. And I said, man, forget about it. Closed the stuff up, got my clothes back together, and I got in the car with my wife, and I'm driving back home, and bing, bing, the light came on. They put an IV into my blood, my veins.
What?
And they put all those liters of fluid into my vein quickly. What do you think that would do if you put an IV into your vein and you put fluid in there? It's going to do what? It's going to dilute with the rest of my blood and bring my sugar down.
Is that a good thing?
I started cussing. I said, this be, when I get well, I'm going to file a complaint with the state of Georgia and stuff against her license. There is
Ooh.
no way that anybody, because the last time I came in the hospital about 2.5 years ago, Ted, the doctor gave me insulin and let me stay there and kept giving me insulin until my blood sugar got down below 200. That's the safe point. And he gave me a prescription for some more insulin if I needed it.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here Saturday. You heard me. I couldn't get myself together. You were out doing something. We couldn't do a thing. Sunday, I couldn't get my stuff together. My blood sugar is still high. My wife, once a day, is checking it. It's in the threes. And Monday, we check it again and stuff. So I called my doctor's office and said, hey, I need to have left a message because, they don't answer their phones at the doctor's office. Had an emergency. I need you to call me back. I need to see Dr. Bassam. By 11 o'clock, my wife asked me, did they call you back? She said, I told her no. So my wife, you don't want to bother her because she's a bear. She's a lion. Don't bother her and get her upset. She called him up and 1 hour later, I'm sitting there on the couch. My wife said, you got an appointment tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I don't know what she did, but I guarantee them people in my doctor's office and stuff got an earful.
Absolutely.
So that night, Ted, I'm not kidding you, man. I could feel that blood sugar destroying my body. My whole body was tingling, and I was on just like a kettle on a hot tin roof. It was bad, and I started then. I said, I gotta go. I gotta go to the hospital, and I can't go to where I just came from. So I said, I'm gonna do one other thing. I'm gonna go try to go to sleep. And I did. I finally got to sleep. I woke up in the morning, got myself together, and I was at the doctor's office at 7:15, and the office was closed. It opened up at 8 o'clock. Me and my wife sitting outside, and I got to see my doctor. Luckily, I got in there at 8 o'clock. I saw my doctor when I was registered in. She walked in and said, Dr. Bassan, how you doing? Mr. Bishop. And she walked into the back. So I walk in, open the door, they take my blood sugar. It's at 356 that morning. I hadn't had nothing to eat, nothing. 356. My doctor came in and said, Mr. Bishop, what's wrong? I told her what was going on. I gave her a little history from the time that I had last saw her and what had happened with the doctor at the hospital. She's, as usual, as these doctors do, they protect themselves. Well, Mr. Bishop, they have a a problem out there, and most of these hospitals they are not administering insulin to people. And everything you have to go and see your own doctor because they're afraid that something might happen with their license. And I started to tell her something going to happen to her license. So, guess what?
What happened?
I don't know if you all can see it. There it is. It's underneath there. There's a little thing there. You see that little thing there?
Yeah, I see it.
You see it on my arm, on the back of my
Yeah,
arm there? Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Is
That
that a
is
feeder or
a
something?
that is a DEFCON sensor.
So what does that
Dexcon
mean?
Dexcon sensor. My doctor put it on my arm because she didn't trust the nurses to do it. It is a continuous monitor. It monitors my blood sugar.
Oh, electronically.
Yes. I can tell what my blood sugar is at any moment. She said, because I told her I was not going to stick my finger. She said, Mr. Bishop, we got to check your thing. We got to make sure we get this thing checked. I said, Doctor, I had these things before and they don't work on my arm for some reason or another. Something happens to them. They fall off. They do all kinds of stuff and everything. So I stopped using them about 2 years ago. She said, well, Mr. Bishop, I'm going to put one on your arm myself, and it's going to stay there, and you're going to have to get it renewed in 10 days. A Dexcon sensor.
Wow.
And she says, since they can't get the Ozempic for you, I'm going to order you some Manjano, a once a week shot that you take to help your body to take care of your sugar. I said, okay. So, as usual, the insurance company cometh. the
Home money
insurance,
insurance.
the insurance company cometh. She sends the two things in to my drugstore, which is Walgreens, and sent it into them. And if you're not on top of it, the fight begins. So for the whole day, well, before that, my doctor gave me two two tubes of insulin. One of them is fast acting, and one of them is a 12-hour, 24-hour long-acting insulin. She said, you take this long-acting. She gave me instructions for it. And the quick-acting, she gave me instructions for that too. Anytime I get ready to eat, I got to take the quick-acting. But once a day, I take the long-acting. This is insulin. She gave it to me. I didn't have to go to the pharmacy. She gave it to me out of her office. Luckily, I got it because they might have gave me all kind of trouble and everything trying to get to this stuff. But anyway, this Mounjaro, we finally, at the end of the day, got the approval to get the drugs because the insurance company don't want to pay for that stuff. So the doctor has to go through a long, drawn out PO thing and stuff and everything to explain to them why she is having me to take this Mounjaro and why I needed the DEFCON sensors. And then they have to send it back to the insurance company so they can say, okay, we got enough explanation. Go ahead and give Mr. Bishop his Mounjaro, but he can't have the DEFCON sensor.
Ooh, boy.
This is a nightmare, man. A nightmare.
What the heck?
So they give me the Mounjaro because we call them up and ask them did they have it, because this Mounjaro is the same thing as the Ozempic. These people are hoarding this stuff. The only thing different between Mounjaro and the Ozempic is that the Ozempic is made in a company in Europe, the Netherlands or someplace. They got a village over there in Netherlands. They got a company where they make the Ozempic. The stuff has gotten so important, and so all over the world, people are begging for this crap. The company can't keep up with the Ozempic, with sending the stuff out to these people. They can't keep up. They're running 24/7, and they still can't get enough Ozempic out because these crazy folks is out there trying to lose weight. But the people who really need the medicine can't get it. So Mounjaro came out right after the Ozempic. Mounjaro is supposed to be a little bit better than the Ozempic, so that's why my doctor said, well, we're going to try the Mounjaro because we might be able to get it faster, because guess what? It's produced here in the United States by Eli Lilly.
Okay.
Luckily, when we call up, you have to call the pharmacies up now to find out if they got this stuff, because like I told you, these people are hoarding this crap. Even the Mounjaro, whatever they call it, that medicine that I'm getting now, they hoard that stuff too. So if you can't get it before they get in, you out of luck. So, Ted, we're in a nightmare. So when the insurance company approved it, the Walgreens called me up, Mr. Bishop, your Mounjaro together, you still owe $200.
Wow.
I said, lady, I ain't paying that. She said, yes, you are. This stuff costs $1,400 and you're going to pay it if you're going to get it. I said, I'm not paying it, lady. I ain't never paid $200. I pay too much for my insurance. I hung the phone up. My wife was gone. I said, well, I know what I got to do, because with the little pills, what I had to do and everything to get that was, and most people don't know this, that these manufacturers have a website. You go onto the website and they will give you a discount for their stuff.
Really?
Yes. You go onto their website, and most all of them have it. For their little medicine that they produce, they will give you a discount for so much money and stuff for a year.
Would they give you a receipt? You got to print it out or what?
No. They send you a automated coupon thing, email. You send it to your email or a text message. They send you automated coupon, and it has about 4 or 5 codes and stuff on there. You get those codes to the pharmacy or wherever you're getting your medication and stuff from, and they give you that discount. But if you are on Medicare Part D, you can't get it.
What?
Nope, no discount. No discount. If you got Medicare Part D, they will not give it to you. When our president, current president, got in office, he finally got a reduction where they allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices with the drug companies. And because he did that, the companies who produced the medicine didn't like it. So they are punishing people who are on Medicare Part D. Luckily, me and my wife, being very astute as we are and stuff with this medical stuff, and like I say, Ted, I really dread other people and stuff out there in this daggone thing. Our senior citizens and stuff. If you don't know, they are not going to tell you, and if you ain't ready to fight, you're going to be in trouble. They got all kind of loopholes out there. You remember about 4 or 5 years ago, this company comes out, one of our big healthcare provider companies came out with this Medicare Advantage plan. I don't know if you got it. We didn't get it because they came out with all kind of little tricks. You get this Medicare Advantage program and your Medicare is going to pay for all this stuff, and you go into this Medicare Advantage program, we're going to take care of you. We're going to let you go to get exercises. We're going to let you give this, and we're going to give you that. And they had a whole list of stuff that they were giving people. It was a gimmick. Most people didn't know about it. They moved themselves out from Medicare to this Medicare Advantage stuff. It's nothing but an HMO. Most people didn't know about it. Now it's coming to light what we knew when they first started it 4 years ago. You stay under Medicare and we were safe. Now these people and stuff are realizing what's going on, and they're trying to get back on the Medicare, and they find it very, very, very hard to get back under the regular Medicare because they had already chosen to use Medicare Advantage. Bad stuff going on, brother. Now, getting back to my Eli Lilly, my Jalo. We call up, get our notice, call Walgreens up, say, hey, we want to get our medicine. Is that medicine ready? Yep, it's ready. It's $200. My wife said, nope, I have a coupon that we need for you to input into your system so we can get our discount. She had to give them all those numbers and stuff and everything. And then she called back after she had put it all into the system, and it popped back into their system and everything. And she called back and said, Mr. Bishop, your medicine is ready. You come in. I said, how much is this? She said, $51. I said, that sounds about right. I usually don't pay nothing, but $51, I said, okay, bet. So my wife takes off and goes to Walgreens. She goes in there, stands in line, gets her spot. This lady who I had called up, she was the one who took care of her. Man, what you need? She said, I came to pick up Mr. Bishop's medicine and everything. This is my dollar. She said, okay, that'll be $200. My wife said, no, it's not. And the lady looked at her again and gave her the story. This stuff, and she said, hey, lady, I don't want to hear that. It's not $200. So she went back and looked in the system and said, oh. So I got my stuff for $51. It's a fight to you. It's
It's
a
an
fight.
ongoing fight.
It's a fight, man. I mean, a fight, a big fight. Now, we haven't even started talking about the Dexcon yet. They still haven't got that approved. It's day,
Damn.
it's day two on that one. Day two, trying to get it. And the only reason why I ain't fighting it real hard is because the thing on my arm lasts 10 days. So I got 10 days in which to correct the system. Now, most people don't realize this because when they sit in their doctor's office and they tell them we're gonna put you on these little units and stuff to monitor your sugar, they go to the thing and they'll tell you Medicare doesn't cover that medicine.
Mm.
Now, there's one problem with that. What did you see on my arm?
Your little tag there.
It's a it's a device.
Hmm.
And you, in medical terms or whatever you got to do, you got to realize what you're getting. It is not medicine.
Some people think it's medicine.
They turn it in as a prescription. And when they send it in as a prescription, they thinking it's medicine. So you have to force either your pharmacy or the doctor to send it off as a medical device. If you've got If you can't stand up and you have a hard time standing up, the doctor will recommend you to have a walker. What is that? It's a medical device. And the same thing with this thing right here. It is a medical device. It measures my sugar. It is a device. It's not medicine. It's not going in my body. It's not medicine.
What it's doing
So
is monitoring you, right?
yes, it's monitoring me. It's like you got a heart monitor or something like that they usually pay for. You have to go home to give your heart monitor. They put that under a different category. Medicare puts it under a different category. But if they turn it in as medicine, then they say, we ain't covering this medicine. And if you ain't smart enough to figure out what's going on, you're not going to get it. Man, we got a system out here, buddy.
Well, it's, people like you astute in technology, so therefore you figured it out. But you got a lot of elderly people that don't know how to
Let's
do
see.
this, and they might be in their upper 70s or 80s.
Absolutely. And they have no idea what's going on. They don't know. The doctor sent them home with a prescription for it, and the pharmacy will say you can't get it, so they're going to cry about it. Or they'll have to go out and
Be confused.
pay for the thing themselves.
They,
Unless you are student enough and you follow up and you do your research, you ain't gonna find out. And the reason why I know the Dexcon and everything is a medical equipment because when I first got my diabetes and everything, my doctor prescribed me with this other unit that they have out there now that I don't use. I forget the name of it, but I was wearing that, and then I couldn't do something with it because it was all screwed up. They had put the stuff out there in the market too soon, and it wasn't perfected to where people can wear it. If you don't put it on right, or if you don't stick it in your arm right, it won't work. Well, this Dexcon had the same problem going on, but I had already figured out how to jump that system and stuff and everything to make sure that it was a medical device. Now, me and my wife both knew this, but you can only fight one battle at a time. So I had to fight the Manjaro battle, and now I can fight the Dexcon battle.
mm,
It is something else out there, Ted. It is a mess out there in this medical field. And if our people don't know what the heck's going on, just like you just said, a lot of our parents and grandparents and stuff, there are older people and they just don't have the time and the effort and everything to deal with these folks out here. It is an absolute nightmare. I'm telling you.
And how do people? Well, that's the issue right now. What we're talking about. Like I said, you are, savvy. You know all the technology and all the things, ins and outs.
Hmm.
However, like you get that discount. There's so many people that's paying out of their pocket when
Absolutely.
they could be getting discounts, and
Hmm.
at the same time, when they need some kind of device, they don't know how to go around that and deal with that.
They
So
don't know how to
now,
navigate it. They
so
don't know how to navigate it.
if you're on a budget, you know, a strict budget, you got your bills to pay, you got this to do, blah blah blah,
Hmm.
and now you overspending because of lack of knowledge.
Hmm.
How do
And
people get through that? How do
you,
how
you,
how, how these elderly people get through it?
each person, Ted, is a different item. And the first thing that I would tell someone that if you become sick, you go to the doctor, you better be proactive. That's the first thing. You better be proactive. You have to become involved in your care. That means whatever is wrong with you, whatever that doctor is prescribing for you, you need to be proactive about it. You need to ask your doctor questions. You need to tell your doctor how you actually feeling, and you have to follow up on that. And when they give you a daggone prescription and everything for whatever they think is ailing you and everything, you need to find out from that doctor, are there generic medicine and stuff for what you're getting. Sometimes they'll give you a a prescription for this item because that's what they've been doing for a while. Well, if the 25 years have passed, there's a generic medicine and stuff that is cheaper than what they are prescribing for you. That's the second thing you need to do. The third thing you need to do and everything is that whatever the doctor has prescribed for you and everything, like I said, most of the time you can go to these websites and stuff. You go on there, you put the name of your medicine and stuff into your search engine, and they'll bring up who produces this particular medicine. Then you go to their website and find out if they have a coupon for a discount. Now I know it's a little bit of trouble, but if you can save yourself five, six, $700, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Cause
Yeah.
Ted, you're right. I've seen people go into these pharmacies. I'm sitting there, man, and looking at these folks, man, and they're writing checks, man, for monthly medicine, $1,400 for their medicine for 1 month. I feel sorry for them. But I can't say anything because I don't know what to do, because this is a private thing and you're not supposed to be dealing with it. But if someone asks me and stuff, I'm going to give them all the advice they need and everything to get through this nightmare because it's something else. Now, you got people out there who are just on Medicare. That's all they got is Medicare. If you qualify for Medicaid, go out there and get it because if you can get on the Medicaid, then that's going to help you to pay for your medicine. Now,
Well, go ahead.
depending on where you at with your Medicare, they have Part A and Part B. Those are the only two things I got. One of them, Part A, pays for the hospitals and the doctors or whatever. Part B and stuff pays for whatever the other stuff, the medicine, all else. They pay for different things. One of them pays for the doctor, other pays for the hospital. Okay, and if you go to some hospital or whatever, they'll discount their thing, but they're going to add on these other fees and stuff that you got to pay. But because in Our situation, me and my wife, we got another. Most of them tell you to get another insurance company, health insurance company, to help pay for the other stuff. Well, because me and my wife have a full coverage insurance that went with us once my wife retired, then it pays for a lot of stuff that the other insurance company, Medicare doesn't. Whatever Medicare doesn't pay for, the other insurance company pays everything. So I walk out of the hospital, I walk out of the doctor's office, I don't pay no copay, I don't pay nothing, not nothing out of my pocket because of the coverage that we got. Now, most people, when they're working and stuff and everything, these companies do not let them come out into their retirement under full health care coverage. They don't let them do it unless they have negotiated their time. UPS is got very good health coverage and stuff and everything for the employees once they go into retirement. But once they hit the retirement, they have no idea and stuff that UPS put a rider on that daggone thing. If you've been on their program for more than 5 years into your retirement, you lose that luxury healthcare program.
You know what? And I'm thinking this, and while you were talking, the thing that I was thinking about is that there are people that are out there that know this business like the back of their hand. They can
Mm-hmm.
save people hundreds of dollars a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how we can get in contact because, we basically, our show is for older people
Mm-hmm.
because what we talk about, younger people are not going to be that interested in. We don't talk about, the best rapper and, who's the better scorer and all that kind of mess, and we ain't talking about somebody's relationships and that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that because people like to talk about that kind of stuff. However, what we're talking about is things that can help elderly people or older people.
Mm-hmm.
This situation, because you came through it, on the good side, there are a lot of people that's going through it on the bad side. They're either losing money or they're getting sicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you came on the good side. You saved money, and then you got through your situation. So what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna just be honest with you, because ain't nothing free. We have to monetize somewhere, get people, contact people, have some kind of way where we can look for people who can give you all of this good information to save you dollars. All these people taking, like all of this kind of medication and what have you,
Mm-hmm.
and to keeping them alive because they want to stay, they want to stay with their grandkids as long as they can to spend time and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Go on cruise ships and all of that stuff. So I'm thinking that it wouldn't be a bad thing, right here on the internet and sort of set something up and look for those types of people that know what they're talking about. Man, you know a lot already. And then, I mean, 20 years ago, I used to sell Medicare and all that stuff. But well, actually, it's more like 30 years ago. But and health insurance. But the point is, it all come back to me. But the bottom line is that the whole purpose of what we're doing is informing people and trying to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a good thing for to help a lot of people. The only thing is, we just got to get people to listen to our show because we can do it right here on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have to set up no, come and
Mm-hmm.
see, and have a dinner with us or lunch with us or whatever, you know, and
That,
contact elderly people and have a show like that, and then just tell them, they can support us by giving us, $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever.
Now, I had a thought about this, Ted, many years ago, and I'm still on that same track. The 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 biggest audience that we're going to have that we can have access to is the church, because most of your senior citizens go to church on Sunday. And if you look down the pews and the aisles and stuff, ain't a whole lot of young people there. There's a lot, there's some, but most of them are seniors and stuff, and they are the ones and stuff that we can probably target. How we get to them is the problem. How we get to say to them what's going on, it is the problem. And I think when we were talking to Dr. Whatever, the young lady we were talking to about 5 years or so ago, and we had that idea in mind, but we lost her support and everything, so we kind of let the thing fall apart. But it's still sitting there and stuff and everything, because 5 years ago it hadn't got as bad as it has gotten and stuff today as far as healthcare and what is going on. So if you can figure out a way how to get into these churches and stuff, or get them to at least listen to or stand before the audience and stuff, if a pastor will allow us to do that, I think you can get that started, uh, and be able to talk to them and stuff and everything, and use this mechanism that we have. We got the internet, and we can sit there and do what we're doing and stuff now. Somebody can have us. I can give them the code. They can log into this thing, and they can put us up on that big old screen, and we can see the audience and stuff out there and everything, and then talk to them about what's going on.
Well, and then, like you and I would have to, put together a program as far as,
Absolutely, and that wouldn't be a hard thing to do. Put together something, because I'm telling you, Ted, it's a mess out there. And like I said, I feel sorry for these folks, because I know we can relate to a lot of people who were sitting in that audience.
no,
We can
absolutely,
relate.
because all of us
Yeah.
got conditions, bro.
Huh?
All of us got conditions.
Yeah. We can relate to them all. We
I
can
know I
relate. We
got my
sitting there
own.
looking at them.
I
And
got my
and,
own.
and and the good part about it, you and I both have been through this thing. You've been in the hospital. You done had a heart problem. You know what that went on there.
Yeah.
I can relate to a lot of older problems and stuff. I done got cataract surgery.
Same here, cataract surgery.
And right now
I'm
I
a
got,
cancer survivor.
yeah. And so I'm sitting here, man, with all kinds of stuff going on that
Well, you know
I can
what? I'm
talk
gonna
to
sort
folks
of kind
about.
of look at that and see what I can do, because and you know the thing is,
And a lot of your churches, medium-sized churches, large churches, they have audio systems out there, video systems out there, and all we have to need to do is tap into there. They can log into our thing right here, and we can talk with the audience and stuff sitting out there and everything. And they can hear us on the big screen that they got their new churches. A lot of these churches and stuff, man, got audio stuff and everything, and it can really, really, really help. So I'm saying that it can be done. And there's some valuable information and stuff that I found out and everything about people and what they should do. About, like I said, a lot of people signed up for the Medicare Advantage and stuff when they've been ripped off and stuff with it. Now, 5 or 6 years ago, when they first started that thing, you couldn't tell people and stuff that you doing something bad. But once they moved into that thing and stuff, most of them, once they got sick, they found out they was in the wrong thing. But they had to get sick to find out it was the wrong move. And like you said, I didn't find out about this thing with the coupons and stuff and everything until I started dealing with this Ozempic. And I found out about it, that there are companies and stuff and everything who give people discount, and they do it. And why the companies are doing this, I don't actually know, Ted, why they're doing it, but they do give them discount. But you have to be in a certain avenue. You can't have Medicare Part D. Now, sometimes it's to your advantage to have Medicare Part D, because that's the medical prescription program out there. And
I'm
all
gonna
the
look
medicine.
into it. I'm gonna look into it, and you can look into it on your end and see what you can come up with. I got a couple of people I can contact, and then go from there and see, and maybe put together some kind of, I wouldn't call it a seminar. I don't know what you would call it, a conference, or we'll think of some kind of name to call it. But the bottom line is that what we're trying to do is help people so that they can save money and, let's face it, stay alive. you know, get
Absolutely.
discounts, stay alive. Where they can really don't have to be coming out of their pocket as much,
Hmm.
and and maybe they can get even information as far as making sure that they got the right program.
Absolutely. And to steer them to uh, where they need to go to. And all doctors aren't equal. All hospitals aren't equal. They're depending on what state you in and stuff and everything, what city you in and what town you in. All they're not all equal. But I will tell people and stuff, no matter if the doctor is not up to this thing or whatever and stuff and everything, you have to stay proactive in your healthcare. You have to. If you don't, those doctors and stuff a lot of times don't know what to do or they don't do enough because these insurance companies, man, they have taken over the doctor's office, they've taken over the hospitals, and they 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 almost actually run the places and stuff now because that's how it is. They're looking for profit. They're not looking to help people. They're looking for profit. And a lot of times they'll tell the doctors and stuff how long that they can be in there dealing with a patient. There's, they got a time limit. You can only be with that patient 8 minutes, and they are serious about it. And the doctors have to leave out and let the other person comes in. That's why you have physicians assistants and stuff now, who are almost doctors, and they allowing them to come in and take over what the doctors can't do. So I don't know. It's
Well,
something
it's a
else out
wrap.
there. Yeah, it's a lot. And then there's also places and stuff and everything that where you can buy your medicine. Most people don't know that you can go into any pharmacy and stuff and everything, and they got this RX. I think they call it RX meds or something like that. And if you pull that out and give it to them, you can tell the people at the desk and everything they can put these codes and stuff in off of this program, and it'll reduce your medicine cost. And those people that don't know it, it's sitting there, and some people know about it and they'll turn it in. And the people who were sitting there behind the counter know it's there, but they will look at people, write these daggone huge checks, or they give them their credit cards and stuff and everything, knowing these people cannot afford this medicine, and they won't say a
Well,
word.
well, what we're going to do, we're going to set up some things the right way so that we can, we don't want to be liable for anything, but we want to give people the best information, and then that'll be their decision, of course, because we're not doctors, we're not, that type of thing. But the thing is that if we give them some information to give them some kind of relief, and I think we'll be providing a good service.
Mm-hmm.
But by us doing this, it ain't gonna be free. We have to, charge $5 per person or $10 per person, you know, and that kind of thing, so that, cause if we have to, get a doctor on board, or maybe some professional, people that know what they're talking about as far as, the system, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Well, I know a lot of folks and stuff that we can access and everything if we need, and ask them is there someone out there. Matter of fact, I know I've been put in contact with this a lady who's in South Carolina. She's a physician's assistant, which is like I said, they are the next level under a doctor, and they can prescribe medicine and they can do all kinds of stuff, and they can give medical advice also to people. Uh, and it would if we can't find a doctor, we can get a physician's assistant and stuff and everything because they have almost all the privileges and stuff that the doctor and stuff had. So if we can't find a doctor, we might be able to see a physician's assistant and stuff who might want to come on if we come up with something real good and find out that if we can get this thing started and everything, that they can be able to help us to uh, be a little bit more professional about this whole thing as far as medical advice is concerned, because we only know a little bit. We just on the surface and everything. There are other people and stuff. They're not even up to where we at to be on the surface and stuff, because they're just lost into a fog there.
Well, and that's the whole point. I mean, you get people sitting in church with diabetes and all that kind of stuff, all kind of chronic diseases
Mm-hmm.
and situations,
Mm-hmm.
and
And,
yeah,
and there are a lot of men and stuff who are in their 50s and stuff who need to start going and seeing a doctor, and most of them do not have a primary care physician. They don't have it. I don't know if they don't have the insurance or they feel they can't afford it, but you need a primary care physician, and you need to go in, because once you get to Medicare and stuff, you can go see a doctor once a year for a medical exam, and they pay for it. No questions asked. And and our stuff and everything, Ted, for colonoscopy, because we know that colon cancer is one of the leading cancers that anybody can get. You get colon cancer, it's curable, but you have to be proactive. You have to realize what the heck you're doing. So we'll see. Let's work on it. You give me some ideas and stuff and everything, and we can work on this thing. We already passed our time and stuff here. I'm glad
okay. Well,
that
we'll work on it, people, and those that's out there
yeah. I'm
have to
gonna
listen to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this show that I got and stuff out there. I'm gonna make it completely public and everything, so people can go out there
You
and
gonna
look
do
at it.
that, Ed?
Yeah, well, the other ones and stuff are like private. They are like private. Only certain people can see it, because I haven't really uh, went through it and everything to take out stuff that we need to take out. But this right here and stuff was very, very important and stuff in here. I'll put some highlights and stuff on it about uh, medical problems.
Okay.
Yeah, and have it out there so where the audience can immediately see it as soon as I upload it. So that's a good idea, Ted. Let's work on it. Maybe we can
All
figure out
right.
some kind of way to monetize it and stuff. If nothing else, but to contact some pastors and stuff and everything who have a congregation of older people and stuff, and ask them
Well,
if
church,
it's okay for us to.
shooting an email or a letter to church is easy. Then
Right,
following up, that's not no problem. And
right.
they can take it, leave it, or like it or lump it. It's on them.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's for for the benefit of their congregation. Something that uh, we understand that they're dealing in religion and everything, but you also want to deal in take in the health and stuff of your uh, parishioners and stuff who are sitting out there in the
And
audience.
a lot of people is in church taking medication.
Absolutely, and they own medicine, all kinds of medicine. So we can talk, see what's going
Sounds
on.
good.
Okay, talk to you
Okay.
later.